So, today we're going to talk about Reid Hoffman, and I think it's going to be a pretty interesting episode. I've highlighted a certain parts of the Wikipedia side of him, but we're also going to go through something else, I at least guess. But yeah, there's going to be more after the intro as always. As quite always. Well, it's actually always. And with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I am really looking forward to recording this episode because I hope that this is going to be a good episode. I hope that it is going to be amazing, but I also think that it is going to be good, And I've also slept quite something, I think 9 hours or something. And it actually turns out to be a little bit better for me and my talking part if I've slept a tiny bit more. Because I don't know. I actually don't know why, but it kind of seems to be the case that when I'm not sleeping that much, that the whole talking part isn't that good. And I don't know why it is the case. I might just figure that out, or I maybe should be figuring that out. But yeah, anyway, as you can see on not this side, but on this side, there's a few things, and please check out the description. This is all that I want to say. Check out the description because there's a lot of opportunities for you to just make the episode and or the experience of the episode, whether it is the podcast and or the YouTube video, better. And there's also a way to contribute more of it because there's a free PDF. You can download it. It is basically a summary of this whole episode. So please just take advantage of that. It is for free. You can just download it and print it and do whatever with it, But yeah. And as you can see on the left side of the screen, we're having Reid Hoffman and his Wikipedia page. And as you can see, there's a few things that I've highlighted and therefore also a few things that I'm willing to go through and willing to talk about, even though I haven't gone through the whole one because I don't actually know why. And I also do have a feeling that I have also looked up some other things which led me to thinking about Reid Hoffman, but I don't know what it was all about. I think it might have been about David Karp, the founder of Tumblr, but I'm not quite sure because I think that maybe Reid Hoffman has been an investor or something, but I'm actually not quite sure about that. I really am not. But anyway, we're going to talk about his Wikipedia page and also in the end about him. So Reid Jared Hoffman or Garrett Hoffman, CBE, born August the 5th, 1967, is an American internet entrepreneur, venture capitalist and author. Hoffman was the co-founder and executive chairman of LinkedIn and a business-oriented social network used primarily for professional networking. At this point in time, and I do have to say, I don't know who's the CEO of LinkedIn at this point in time, but LinkedIn is doing just really fucking great at this point in time, which is something amazing for me because, just because it is a social network and you're going to be able to network with people and you're going to be able to connect with other people, this is just a huge advantage, not only for me, but also for just humanity and for everyone that is willing to take advantage of that. But in the end, I do find it pretty great that it just turned out to be quite popular, which is amazing, because it began with just being, it is existed for quite some time, first of all, but it has never actually been something that a lot of people considered being on, it was definitely for business people in terms of like companies and employees and just, I don't know if you were actually able to get a job through LinkedIn. I do think that at this point in time, you are able to do that. Maybe because a lot more people are using it and a lot more people are taking it more seriously, and or just because the other social networks are taken more seriously, which could also be a reason for the fact that we could be taking advantage of that we could be taking advantage of LinkedIn and this ecosystem that is basically enabling us to just get a job, because this is what LinkedIn is all about. It's about work and jobs and companies and whatnot. Could be. He is currently partnered at the venture capital firm Greylock Partners. On the Forbes 2019 list of the world's billionaires, Hoffman was ranked 1,349 with a net worth of US 1.8 billion, which is quite something. I'm not gonna lie, it really is something. It's not that much because, as you can see, if you think about it, in the following way, he is the 1,349th person. Yes, that is having. Well, you have to think about it. all the people that are above him, so all the other 1,348 people then, I guess, they're all having more than 1.8 billion, which is quite something, If you're thinking of the just population of the world, then it is quite nothing. Like 1,000 people is like literally nothing. But in the end, it is just, anyway. It is what it is, it is what it is. Still think that it is amazing if you're able to do that. But anyway, he was born Reid Hoffman, so he didn't change his name or something. Blah, 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 in Palo Alto, California, US, which is something that's pretty interesting since this is as far as I know at least. I'm actually not quite sure about that because I kind of tend to mess these things up. But I think this is also where Silicon Valley is. Or I think this is in Silicon Valley. So it is just a pretty great place to be in and to also be born in, I'd say. Alma mater, he graduated from Stanford University with a Bachelor of Science and the University of Oxford with a Master of... What's MST? I don't actually know what MST is. Is it even a master? Is BS even a master? Or a bachelor? I'm sorry. I do think that it is. Master of Scientific whatever. Well, I don't know. Occupation, Executive Chairman LinkedIn, VC Partner at Greylock, and the board member at Microsoft. Which is something, Being a board member at Microsoft, pretty cool. His net worth, is gonna go up because it is at 1.9 billion at this point in time. Well, which is nuts if you think about it, because it is like, even though it kind of seems to be a little bit of an insignificant change just from 1.8 billion to 1.9 billion, but you have to think about it in the following way, that 1 billion is 100 million. So if you're having 1.8 billion, then it is 1 billion and 800 million. But if it is like 1.9 billion, then it is 1 billion and 900 million. So it is 100 million more, which is fucking a lot. Which is like one person's life, a good life, a really good life. If you're having 100 million, then I do think that you and your family can survive, I guess. Well, it still depends on how you live, basically. Of course, but I don't really think that you could be, well, you could, of course you can just spend 100 million in 100 years, which is going to be, it's going to be 1 million in a year for, let's say, like 5 people or something. Like, it's actually, well, okay, of course, maybe in the beginning you have to spend a little bit more just because you're probably buying yourself a house, you're probably buying just some other shit like a car and whatnot, but in the end, I do think that, you should be able to just do that with 100 million kind of easily. It also depends on how long you're living. And, but also when you think about the fact that nobody has to work but you, or actually nobody has to work because you're having the 100 million, and then you're actually having a really fucking good life. Kinda, because nobody has to work, you can do whatever. You could basically, as I said, spend 1 million a year. I don't know if you can do that. Well, you can, but I don't know for what you can do that. But, anyway. Anyway, his spouses are Michelle Yee, 2004, or since 2004 or they're married in 2004, I'm sorry. But yeah, his early life and education. And maybe you should also highlight that, because it might be necessary for the little summary then, to just understand it and to just have a structure in it and all those things. Hoffman described himself as an avid tabletop role-playing gamer as a child. His first paid job at age 12 was as an editor at the game company Chaosium. It is Chaosium, then based in Oakland near his home. Although he was only 14 years old at the time, Hoffman's name was featured on the box of Chaosium's RuneQuest role-playing game release, Borderlands, 1982. And I do wonder if it is like the Borderlands, because I played Borderlands 2, and now we're also having Borderlands 3. But I don't know, because, if the first Borderlands came out in 1982, which is quite some time ago, and I think Borderlands 2 has been out since probably 2010 or something, I would say. Could be right. And Borderlands, the third one, I think is released or was released in 2019 or 20 even. Well, anyway, receiving an equal billing with game designers Steve Perrin, Sandy Peterson, and Greg Stafford, which is insane. You know, if you think about it, you as a 14-year-old working at a company and you're just getting as much paid as those elderly people or older people. Let's put it like that. Hoffman attended high school at the Putney School, where he farmed maple syrup, drove oxen or oxen, I don't know, and studied epistemology, which is, because I don't actually know, the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope at the distinction between justified belief and opinion. Philosophy. Is it a part of philosophy? Well, I don't know. But coming back to him, he graduated from Stanford University in 1990, where he won both a Marshall Scholarship and a Dinkelspiel Award with a BS in Symbolic Systems and Cognitive Science. Yes, I don't know what this is all about, but it sounds cool. He went on to earn an MST, which I actually don't know. There it is. Master of Studies is a postgraduate degree at the University of Oxford, Cambridge, blah, 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 blah. Necessitated in part of the fact that the Master of Arts degree at Oxford, Cambridge, and Dublin is essentially an honorary degree automatically awarded to graduates after a certain period of time. Well, so the Master of Arts is like just nothing relevant then, but well, anyway. So he went on to earn an MST in philosophy from Wolfson College, Oxford University in 1993 as a Marshall Scholar. So he's definitely a pretty academic person. I don't know if his background was also pretty academic, but as far as I've read the above, no, his parents weren't, even though, which is actually pretty interesting that they are pointing that out. His parental great-great-great-grandfather was Theophilus Adam Willey, a Christian Presbyterian minister and Indiana University president pro tempore. I mean, first of all, who the fuck knows about that? You know, who the fuck knows about that? Because I don't know any fucking shit about my grandfather or great-great-great-grandfather. Like, I really don't know, but I mean, maybe this is just me, you know? The career ends his early years. While in college, according to Hoffman, he formed the conviction that he wanted to try to influence the state of the world on a large scale. He saw academia as an opportunity to make an impact, but later realized that an entrepreneurial career would provide him with a larger platform. Yes, probably. When I graduated from Stanford, my plan was to become a professor and public intellectual. This is not about quoting Kant, that is about holding up a lens to society and asking, who are we? And who should we be as individuals and as a society? But I realized academics write books that 50 or 60 people read, and I wanted more impact. Yeah, it is kind of the case, you know. Even though if you think about Kant, then it is like a little bit more people have been giving a fuck about him since I don't want to say since he died, but you know, like also when he was living, quite some people just really gave a fuck about him. But I would also say, like, if you're having a great company, if you're having a company that is doing something that's fucking amazing, then people are going to definitely contribute off of that. Like, people are definitely going to be happy about that. It is just a really fucking great way to impact people. But I would also say that doing something like I'm doing at this point in time, which has also been one of the reasons why I still am doing it, that I do still hope that I'm going to be able to just impact somebody's life. I do hope that, and I do just hope that I'm gonna be able to help somebody with whatever the fuck I'm talking about, you know, even if it is just one singular point that I'm pointing out in a video that I'm just talking about, or that I'm actually reading, you know, because I do not want to be like, well, it is what I talk about. I'm basically going through some fucking articles. But if it is just some information that somebody would have never ever thought about receiving and I would have never received, then I've done my fucking job, you know. Then it is something quite amazing that I've been able to just review that in some way and also point that out or underline that, which is kind of the thing that I'm actually doing. And I might just, I don't know, maybe I should be just doing something differently. Maybe I should just be doing something in a different way. Maybe I should be doing this in a different way. I don't know, but it is kind of working for me and I've just really defaulted into that. And I am quite also comfortable with doing it in this way, but Anyway, with that in mind, Hoffman pursued a career in business and entrepreneurship. His first job was an internship at Inglenook, a winery in Napa Valley. He later joined Apple Computer in 1994, where he worked on eWorld, an early attempt at creating a social network. eWorld was acquired by AOL in 1996, and he later worked at Fujitsu before co-founding his first company, which was socialnet.com, which was in 1997. Golfers who were looking for partners in their neighborhood. It focused on online dating and matching up people with similar interests, like golfers who were looking for partners in their neighborhood. Peter Thiel has said socialnet.com was literally an idea before his time. It was social network 7 or 8 years before that became a trend. Which is quite of a fucked up thing, because if you're doing so, then, not a lot of people are going to give a fuck about that. The next one is PayPal. I might have been just hearing his name the first time because I was interested in the PayPal mafia, but I don't actually know. I still don't know why I came to the conclusion to actually talk about him, but, PayPal, while at SocialNet, Hoffman was a member of the board of directors during the founding of PayPal, an electronic money transmission system. In January 2000, he left SocialNet and joined PayPal full-time as the company's COO, which is the chief... What is the COO? What the fuck? Office? Well, anyway, but I could see Chief Operations or Operating Officer. Responsible for managing the day-to-day operations of a company or other institution. Alan Blue, whom Hoffman hired at PayPal, said that PayPal had to scratch and claw for every advantage it had, and Reid became an expert at competing effectively in an extremely competitive environment. Hoffman was responsible for all external relationships for PayPal, including payments, infrastructure, Visa, MasterCard, ACH, Wells Fargo, and business development with eBay, Intuit, and others. Government, regulatory, and judicial, and legal. Peter Thiel, Hoffman's boss at PayPal, has said that Hoffman was the firefighter in chief at PayPal, though that diminishes his role because there were many, many fires. At the time of PayPal's acquisition by eBay for $1.5 billion in 2002, he was executive vice president of PayPal. He has to be just a pretty fucking good guy if you're just able to pull that off. With people like Elon Musk being in PayPal, and also just a lot of other people. Peter Thiel, of course, as well. Microsoft proposed to acquire LinkedIn on June 13th, 2016 for $26.2 billion in cash. In cash. Who the fuck is having $26.2 billion in fucking cash? It seems to be the case that Microsoft is having that. But yeah, Hoffman became a Microsoft board member on March 14th in 2017, which might be in correlation to each other, but I don't know. Investing. After the PayPal sale to eBay, Hoffman became one of Silicon Valley's most prolific and successful angel investors. According to venture capitalist David Snee, S-Z-E, Hoffman is arguably the most successful angel investor in the past decade. Dave Goldberg, former CEO of SurveyMonkey, said that Hoffman is the person you want to talk to when you are starting a company. In 2010, Hoffman joined Greylock Partners and runs their $20 million discovery fund. His areas of focus at Greylock include consumer and services, enterprise software, consumer internet, enterprise 2.0, mobile, social gaming, online marketplaces, payments, and social networks. According to David Kirkpatrick's book, The Facebook Effect, Hoffman arranged the first meeting between Mark Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel, which led to Thiel's initial $500,000 angel investment in Facebook, which I assume is now worth like fucking a lot. Hoffman invested alongside Thiel in Facebook's first financing round. Hoffman's current venture capital investments include Airbnb, Apollo Fusion, Aurora, Blockstream, Coda, Convoy, Entrepreneur First, Gixo, Nardo, Xapo. They're all pretty short. Past investments include 3D Solve, Coupons.com, Dig, Emondo, Flickr, Arimport, Newton, Congrad, Last FM, Nanos Solar, One Kings Lane, Permudo, Ping.fm, Shopkick, 6 Apart, The 61, Simply tagged, Swipely tagged, Technedo, Trial Pay, Vendio, Viglink, Vicky, Vikia, Rap, who served on Singa's board of directors from March 2008 to June 2014, and on Shopkick's board of directors from its foundation in July 2019 until its acquisition by SK Telecom in October 2014. And this is so far what I've found out about him. Personal life. In 2004, Hoffman married Michelle Yee. The couple has resided in Palo Alto, CA, California for 10 years. Well, yeah, and he's also written a bunch of books as far as I see there, and also he's a speaker, but he wrote the book Startup of You, and I'm actually gonna just highlight them. The Alliance, or Alliance, no, it's Alliance, or Alliance, I don't know. Master of Scale, because he's pretty good at scaling, I guess, I assume. Reid Hoffman announced the launch of a new podcast called it is a podcast, Master of Scale. In each episode, Reid acts as the host, introducing a counterintuitive business theory and proving it through the episode through a series of conversations with successful entrepreneurs. Masters of Scale is committed to a 50-50 gender balance. The official podcast launched on the 5th of May 2017 on the Entrepreneur Magazine website, but is now hosted at mastersofscale.com. Episodes so far feature guests such as Mark Zuckerberg, Brian Chexie, John Elkann, Shirley Sandberg, Stuart Butterfield, Deanne Green, and Nancy Lublin. Master of Scale. Let's actually check that out. Master of Scale. Let's see. Let's see if it is an amazing one. Master of Scale. The first thing that I think I can say is that I do not really like the typography there. Kinda. But co-founder and CEO of Netflix. Oh, the why culture matters. This is actually a person that I should be Ariana Huffington as far as, yeah. Then Tristan Walker, Marissa Maya, Google, Yahoo, and Lumi Labs. Brian Chexie, Handcrafted, and then Etsy CEO Josh Silverman. Quite interesting. But I'm actually pretty interested in Reed Hastings, co-founder and CEO of Netflix. I might be actually talking about him. If there is something to talk about, then I might also be talking about him in the next episode or something. Could definitely be the case. We're back with season 5. Listen on it on Apple Podcast and listen on it on Spotify. Yeah, do that if you want to. But I think that this is going to be the end of the episode. I hope that you have liked it. I hope that you've learned something. And I hope that you're going to have a good day today. Because it's actually pretty beautiful outside. Which is something that I enjoy. Which is something that's quite amazing. And yeah. Gonna see you the next time. And I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered. Which basically means your legacy. And basically means just being a nice person. And then also being remembered as a nice person. 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? Because these 3 questions matter quite a lot. And yeah, gonna see you the next time. So please consider subscribing to the podcast. I would really appreciate that. And I'm gonna see you the next time. Bye.